It's Friday, the 10th of December 2021. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Morning, Michael.
All right, 5 stories, 5 minutes. Here we go. Story number 1. Sean, Australia may get an officially sanctioned digital currency sooner than we expected.
Yes, the Reserve Bank Governor Philip Lowe yesterday said he expects to see digital money or tokens in the future, whereby a digital currency makes day-to-day payments, just like a banknote does today. The Reserve Bank may issue these tokens, or e-AUDs as he called them, e-Australian dollars that stands for. While there hasn't been a case to create such a central bank digital currency so far, Dr. Lowe said it could change very quickly as technology evolves and preferences change. The Reserve Bank is now examining the case to create such a currency. This is the first time the Governor of the Reserve Bank has been so explicit around plans for a digital currency. It comes as more and more people are using digital wallets such as Apple Pay and Google Pay. Dr. Lowe does, though, remain somewhat sceptical about cryptocurrencies. He said that you probably won't ever go out and buy a Big Mac meal with Bitcoin, for example, but he isn't against them. He said they were good for innovation purposes and to test the market. Somewhat of a backhanded compliment, that one. He thinks ultimately a secure fiat currency will settle most transactions.
Okay. Story number 2 this morning, Sean. There's been an interesting story doing the rounds about a product known as urea. Now, urea goes into diesel engines and it looks like there's a shortage of it, which means that Australia could run out of diesel early next year.
Absolutely. And you can imagine what that means for the trucking and transport industry, not to mention plenty of people with diesel engines in their cars. Now, urea is mixed with deionised water to create a product known as AdBlue. AdBlue is compulsory in all newer diesel engines because it reduces emissions of nitrogen oxide. But there's a global shortage of high-grade urea, partly because of transport challenges and partly because of strong demand from the agriculture and farming sector, which uses it for fertiliser products. That's triggered a run on supplies, and one producer is quoted as saying the country has just 6 weeks' worth of stock left and far too many orders. The federal government is holding crisis talks with AdBlue and diesel suppliers, but it could actually well run out in January.
Yeah, big story, that one. Story number 3 this morning, Sean. Really, what do you have to do these days to get the sack? Apparently, sniping at your boss and using some rather salty language in a Microsoft Teams meeting isn't enough.
Yes, according to Financial Review, the Fair Work Commission held that a Darwin recruiter's gross insubordination, foul language, and deliberate agitation of colleagues at a labour hire firm was unacceptable conduct, but the recruiter was awarded $6,000 as her sacking was without notice. Now, the recruiter was stood down with pay and then fired after staff complained she used obscene language about the general manager and made negative comments about more junior employees. She denied she had used some foul language, you can imagine the words I'm talking about there, but conceded she had called the general manager misogynist and she had called the general manager a wanker. There's quite a bit more to it, but in the end, the commission found her conduct was divisive and not professional. It affected the well-being of other staff, but it didn't meet the threshold test for serious misconduct. Incredible.
Yeah, you can say that again. Story number 4 this morning, Sean. When you think about countries that are mad for pizza, you might think kind of the US or Italy, but Japan, it is absolutely booming.
Well, it's mad for Domino's pizzas, it seems. Yesterday, Domino's said it had opened its 862nd store in the country. It's now the first pizza group to operate stores in all the country's 47 prefectures. It is truly a national chain in Japan. In fact, Domino's has added more than 300 stores in the country over the past 3 years. Incredible story how successful they've been there, and it's really helped earnings at Domino's and really helped its share price.
Yeah. Now, story number 5, Sean, a bit of a strange one, this one, because it kind of goes against what you would expect, that the United States road toll over the past couple of years has soared during the pandemic.
Yes, very quirky. It's actually the opposite to what people expected given the lockdowns and fewer cars on the road. But medical experts say it's likely the pandemic has made US drivers more reckless, more likely to speed, drink and use drugs, leave their seatbelts unbuckled. It's a worrying unintended consequence of all these restrictions and lockdowns we've had in society during the pandemic.
Yeah, strange one, that one. All right, that's it. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Friday, the 10th of December, 2021. Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and if 5 minutes isn't quite enough, then you can find our longer podcast called Fear and Greed on your podcast platform. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fear and Greed Business Headlines. Have a great day.